Lisa from Blackpink used to look like this. Now she looks like this. Megan Fox used to look like this. Now she looks like this. And I used to look like this, and now I look like this. The difference is that we got over this disease called ugly girl syndrome. This lie has been the driving force to why you don't go for certain opportunities, or why you don't go for that type of guy because you don't think you're good enough, or why you lack confidence because you just don't think you're pretty enough. We as women can no longer allow our physical appearance to determine what kind of life we can and cannot live. Because that ends here today, my friend. My name is Jasmine, and on this channel, we talk all about becoming the woman of your dreams and building a life that you absolutely love. And in this video, I'm going to convince you that you have never been ugly. And I'm going to break you out of this ugly girl identity loop and to help you realize that you've been hot this entire time. Even if you don't see it yet, even if no one else sees it yet, I am going to show you in this video. Here are all the video chapters, and you can find the video chapters in the description below. And if you are somebody who is ready to do the real work, I'm not just talking about watching these videos, but actually transforming. I provide worksheets for every single one of my videos. In these worksheets, you'll find in-depth journaling prompts as well as practical exercises to help you start removing your limiting beliefs and to write out an action plan so you can start living out as your highest self today. You can access these worksheets down in the description below. Now let's dive into the video. Let's start off with the very first chapter, and it's that your ugly identity has been taught to you. You were born a baby. A baby is a blank sheet of paper. There's nothing written on it. They don't have any beliefs coming into this world. But from ages 0 to 7, kids are a walking subconscious mind, which means that they don't have the analytical facilities to know whether a fact is true or not. So if someone is constantly telling them, you're ugly, you're dumb, you're stupid, no one's gonna love you. No one's gonna love you if you look this way. And over time, when someone keeps telling us the same lie over and over again, they are going to accept that belief as truth. Or maybe it wasn't someone who constantly told you, but maybe it was because you really liked a guy at school. You had a huge crush on this guy, and this guy broke your heart because he said that you just weren't pretty enough. And that emotional reaction in your body remembered that because your body didn't want to experience that level of hurt again. And over time, the more rejection we feel, the more someone tells us that we're ugly, the more someone tells us that we're just not that girl, we just don't fit into that category, we're just not that label. Over time, we build something that I like to call a default self-concept. And it's this version of yourself that you think you are based on all the childhood programming that you went through because you didn't know any better. But simply put, everyone around you, they're just living their own version of their own reality. They're going through their own beliefs. They're going through their own struggles. They're going through their own childhood traumas. The more these life events happen where you feel rejected or you feel shame about yourself and you feel like your physical attractiveness determines what kind of life you get to live, when you take all of these life experiences and you take them personally, you take them as a part of yourself, you start to protect yourself because you are simply just trying to protect this little girl inside of you. So you move through life covering yourself up. When you take in that belief that you're ugly and you don't release them, you don't work on them, you simply continue to live that way, you will start to act that way. Your behaviors will reflect your beliefs. So you're gonna wear sweatpants, you're gonna wear sweaters every day to hide your body. You're gonna avoid certain interviews, job opportunities, positions because you don't think you're beautiful enough to have them, you don't feel you're good enough to have them. Or if a guy comes up to you and says that you're beautiful, you shake it off because you just don't believe it. We need to be aware of how much this belief has been taking away from your confidence, taking away from your life, and we just don't want to live that way anymore. We are now going to enter chapter 2. Being ugly is just a really good excuse to not live out your potential. It is so easy to hide behind your phone. It is so easy to throw a hate comment here and there. It is so easy to talk smack about other people. It is so easy to wear sweatpants, sweatshirt, walk out, not really care. It is so easy to just hide yourself from the world because you don't face ridicule because you didn't try that hard, because you can't have anyone judge you or reject you if you hide yourself, right? You don't even exist. You're an absolute ghost. Calling yourself ugly is actually a very comfortable hiding spot. It is so much easier to call yourself ugly than to take real emotional risk. So to take that rejection, to take that visibility, and to be ridiculed. Maybe you've always wanted to start a YouTube channel, but you've been afraid because you were worried about what people would think of you, how you would look. But what if you die and in the heavens, this God comes up and says, you could have gone to 1 million subscribers. You could have made $1 million a year or more. You could have been able to quit that job that you hated. You could have been able to attract the love of your life because they found you through that channel, and that your whole life would have been amazing if you took that risk. But you didn't take that bet because you didn't think you were pretty enough. As women, we have grown to believe that our physical appearance determines our value in life. But we need to unlearn that. We need to see that we are intrinsically valuable exactly as we are. Having this inner belief that we are our own version of beautiful. We already have it. When it comes to rebuilding that identity loop that we're beautiful, that we think that we need to convince the outer world first before we believe it ourselves. We think that in order to convince our high school bully that we're attractive now, then it will change our behaviors, our actions, how we dress, how we talk, the confidence we have. And then that will change our belief system. So I am finally beautiful. I'm finally enough. And then we feel like we can change our self-concept. But that is absolute BS, because your beauty stems from your self-concept first. It's the intention already within yourself that you are beautiful. That unshakable confidence and beauty already exists within you, because that is when real change occurs. Real change happens within yourself first before anyone else can see it. Fact is, the more that we believe that we are beautiful, the more we're going to attract certain people that believe that we are beautiful, which takes me to my very next point, and it takes guts to be beautiful. It takes courage to put yourself out there to claim that you're beautiful, because it's so much easier to go out and say, oh, I'm ugly. Oh, I'm stupid. Because you're literally taking yourself to rock bottom. No one can get you there. Positive people would never bring you down. Happy people would never bring you down. But it's those that are so upset with their life, that are so upset with themselves, that think they're failures, that absolutely hate themselves. They use that hatred to feel better about who they are, and they use the people around them to make themselves feel better. My friend, your glow up is going to feel so uncomfortable because you're going to do your hair a little bit, you're going to take those glasses off, you're going to wear really nice perfume, you're going to wear really nice clothes, and you walk out and suddenly you're getting attention from every corner of the street. Now your body is uncomfortable. I've never received this amount of attention. And when you go out and you're about to strut, every person at every corner of the street is going to look at you because you're beautiful. And you always have been, but you just haven't been dressing the part. It is so scary. It is so scary to be beautiful, especially when you have been in the dark. You've been hiding yourself for so long. It does not mean that's not who you are. It just means that you're learning, you're becoming a brand new version of you. And that discomfort is a really good thing. That new self-concept is helping you build confidence. And discomfort is how you learn how to build confidence. It's about learning how to break through that discomfort. Being beautiful takes courage, because in a world of hate, in a world of pessimism, you need to stand firmly regardless of how people react to this new version of you. That you have determined, this intention that you have set for yourself, you need to stand your ground, because that is how you evolve. That is how you break out of that identity loop. Being beautiful is not just about your physical appearance, even though you may think that for the longest time, it has just been about your hair or your face or your body. But your physical features only plays a very small percentage of your beauty. Beauty is holistic. Beauty is a very internal and external experience. How you engage with people, how you speak to people, how comfortable you make people feel, how kind you are to people, how generous you are, how abundant you are in life, how ambitious you are. These are all intrinsic qualities that make someone attractive and beautiful. We've all met that one girl who is beautiful on the outside, but once she opens her mouth, when she starts talking, you lose all respect for her. That is not beauty. Someone could have the gift of beauty, right? Being born certain traits, but the moment she opens her mouth, she loses that. But you are different because you know that beauty is multidimensional. Calling yourself beautiful is something that no one can take away from you. You have already been born with this beauty, but it is up to you to call upon and to work on this aspect of you. Now, I know a lot of you clicked into this video because you want to learn how to amplify your sense of beauty. You want to look in the mirror and you want to see, oh my gosh, she is so beautiful. And that goes into my next chapter, which is beauty is also built. We are all born into different shapes and sizes. Our face shapes are all different. Our body shapes are all different. We as humans are all designed to look different. You may not have been beautiful because you're not studying yourself enough. You need to become a self-researcher because you need to understand what looks good on you, what doesn't look good on you. And again, that takes courage because you would have to walk into H&M, Zara, to try on clothes and to face yourself in the mirror to say, that looks good on me. That color looks good on me. So if you are looking to up-level your physical self, you need to understand that hot people are simply self-researchers. And they have studied their own skin tone. They know what colors look good on them. They know what styles look good on them. So you need to get on that. Now, this is the most exciting part because I'm going to be going through integration. So how you can integrate everything that I taught today, right? Because a lot of this is just pep talk, but I want to go into the nitty gritty to see yourself as beautiful. Again, like we talked about, beauty is something that you've already been born with. But through these exercises, it's about helping you build that muscle to realize and to rewire yourself back into believing that you're beautiful again. Just like going to the gym, just like practicing football, just like learning how to dance, all of these are muscle-based. All of this is trained through practice. The more that we remember our beauty, the more that gets rewired into our minds. The very first tip is exposure therapy. Oh my gosh, I know you're probably afraid. You're like, Jazz, why can't I just convince myself in the mirror and let that be? No, because if you want to be a brand new version of you, you need to walk out there and show people the brand new version of you. This is not to prove to people, but it's about putting yourself in these circumstances where you feel a little uncomfortable sharing this brand new side of you. So at your next family event, wear the most beautiful dress, do your makeup right, do your hair, look bomb, look sexy, and show up. And you will for sure feel uncomfortable because everyone around you, every Christmas, you've been the type of girl that wore sweaters, you had a messy hair bun, you didn't really brush your teeth, you didn't really wash your face, you didn't really care about how you looked. But that discomfort when you walk into that room in a dress, it's going to make you feel uncomfortable because you're not used to this version of you. You don't see yourself as that version of you yet, but you need to convince yourself through exposure therapy. The reason why this is so fearful for you and initially it's going to feel scary is because your past, it's all in the subconscious mind. So the fear of rejection that happened when you were 8 years old, that lives in the body. But if you start rewiring your body to realize a new normal, a new level of yourself over time, you are going to feel more comfortable looking this way. The priority here is to convince yourself. And even if you work remotely, you're at home, just wear something nice, right? Dress yourself a little bit more, which brings me to my second tip, which is mental rehearsal. You cannot create a new life with the same identity. You cannot create a new life with the same personality. You cannot create a new life with the same thoughts, beliefs, and energy. If you want a brand new life for yourself, a brand new reality, you need to create a brand new personality. The change you experience internally is what will create change on the outside. So let's talk about what mental rehearsal is and my own specific technique on how to visualize the best version of yourself. So how I do this is I sit and I give myself 30 minutes every single day, sit on my bed, and I first recall a memory where I felt the most beautiful. Now, this is something that has happened in the past. I actually believe that visualization is the most powerful when we use a prior experience that we've already had and we use that energy to build a brand new future. I typically like to think about a past where I looked my best. I felt the most confident. I had a moment where I was speaking my truth. I felt like a high value woman, and I felt like everyone around me was admiring me, complimenting me. And I feel into that energy for about 10 minutes. Because I'm essentially using my past to build up and amplify that energy. Now, after that, after those 10 minutes, I use the rest of the 20 minutes to then visualize the brand new version of myself that I want to be. So, what is she wearing? What does she look like? What does her makeup look like? What does her hair look like? What do her shoes look like? How does she walk? How does she talk about herself? What does she feel when she looks into a mirror? What is happening is that your brain and body does not know the difference between an imagined reality and what is happening in the physical reality. If your body is feeling beauty, joy, gratitude, excitement, confidence, your body is thinking that it's happening in the real world. So you are rehearsing this new self before it becomes familiar. And the more times you do this, the more times that you show up meditating, your actions and behaviors will change because your beliefs are changing and because your self-concept is changing. Now, we've reached the end of this video. I would love for every one of you who have made it to the very end to make an intention to affirm that you are already beautiful. And if you want to dive a level further and implement everything that I've taught in this video, download my worksheets down below because I provide in-depth journaling prompts that will help you bust past those limiting beliefs and to finally become the best version of yourself. And if you are ready to become the woman of your dreams, check out my channel because I make a ton of videos about self-worth, love, relationships, money, career, literally all things high-value woman energy. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!